Hello and welcome to Dingoes Ate My Podcast. I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
And I'm Justin.
And this week we're talking about the episode Crush. Appropriately enough, this episode originally aired February 13th, 2001.
Oh, how appropriate indeed.
In all the senses.
Yeah, really.
That's so good. Alrighty, so this episode starts with the bronze reopening. Buffy's watching her friends dance, and Spike shows up to be forced away by Xander, who just kind of tells him to leave.
Hey, I'm dead guy. Get out of my seat.
Willow reveals that she is still suffering from headaches and nosebleeds as a result of the teleportation spell. A train pulls into Sunnydale, and the porter goes on board. He finds all the passengers to be dead. As he sees the carnage, he too is attacked and killed. And we see a little doll up in one of the luggage compartments.
Yep.
Which should tell you who is coming back in this episode. Because if you remember, those were first seen in the episode School Hard. Way back in season 2.
It's been a while.
It has. It's been sad. We haven't had this particular character for quite a while. Anyway, when Spike returns home after partying, Giles suggests that Dawn be treated normally. In the meantime, Harmony shows up and tries to get Spike sexually aroused and suggests a game where she pretends to be Buffy. Ooh, I'm gonna stake you, you evil vampire!
Wow. Yeah, Harmony is very dense this episode.
It's so good!
All 16 levels of the cringe.
It's like, why the hell would Spike even have Buffy's sweater? Here, put it on.
Because
and pretend to be Buffy.
Because he's a predator and he wanted to get her scent.
Gross.
Buffy reads about the train murders by just stealing a paper from somebody at school.
Hey, you mind if I read that?
You're done with that.
I was reading that.
And concludes that it's a vampire and not Glory. Buffy searches for Dawn and finds her with Spike, listening to one of his scary stories, which he then gives a super crappy ending because Buffy's there and he's scared.
Yeah.
Dawn reveals her crush on Spike, but what really shocks Buffy is when she says that Spike has a crush on Buffy, because apparently Buffy just is fucking blind.
It's like, huh?
Perfect response.
No, my favorite is later in the episode. Well, I beat him up a lot, and for Spike, that's like third base. It's so good.
I still love how Buffy doesn't really clue in until pretty much when they're on the stakeout later. Anyway.
Yeah. Buffy and Xander investigate the train murders, and Buffy confesses the possibility of Spike loving her, though Xander doesn't take it seriously and is amused by it.
Oh, tremendously amused.
We see the blindfolded doll in the overhead compartment of the train. It might not have been in the first scene, it might have been only here.
Yeah. Also the revelation that Dawn has the crush on Spike, and Xander was a little upset.
He's like, but she has a crush on me!
It's like, so why do you care?
Xander's great. He's on point in this episode.
She's like 14!
And you're like 25, Xander. Actually, you're like 30, but... While Buffy and Spike are staking out in front of a warehouse, Buffy is unnerved by some of Spike's behavior, because he's acting like a creep. Because he normally does not help for free, and has never taken an interest in her personal likes and dislikes. Buffy and Spike attack the vampires, but they immediately run off at the sight of the Slayer.
The Slayer!
Ditch! Buffy realizes that the warehouse is a vampire nest, and thus couldn't have been the ones who were involved in the train massacre, as they would have just gone into town. When Spike goes so far as to unwittingly hold the door open for her, Buffy finally demands to know why he is acting like this, demanding to know if everything that just happened was Spike's version of a date. Oh, it's so good.
Can you explain the door holding? The bourbon?
So apparently Buffy and Spike's first date, other than the time where they were together because of a spell, is a stakeout.
At first, Spike Lee loudly and amusedly denies this, but then asks in a hopeful manner, "Do you want it to be?" Oh, Spike, you're amazing. Buffy's disgusted by the fact that Spike is trying to hit on her. Despite Spike's pleas and confessions, Buffy refuses to listen to him and denies that there's anything between them, insisting that Spike is still a dangerous villain and being soulless is incapable of such emotion. Having completely and brutally rejected Spike, Buffy departs the warehouse in disgust. Despondently returning to his crypt, Spike is greeted by his longtime love, Drusilla. Drusilla tells him of the events in Los Angeles, which we won't be covering because that happened on Angel. Let's just say they were messing around with Angel. And tries to convince him to return with her. She is already aware of the chip in his head and tries to convince him that he can be evil even with the chip. Harmony arrives and yells at Drusilla for hurting Spike. Spike throws Harmony out of the way, announcing that not only is Drusilla back, he's back. While looking for Spike, Buffy discovers the extension of his underground lair, which includes a shrine dedicated to herself. As she returns to the surface, Buffy finds Spike and Drusilla waiting for her. Spike watches Drusilla shock Buffy with a cattle prod. After the Slayer collapses, Drusilla turns to Spike, only to be shocked herself as he seizes the cattle prod and uses it on her. Buffy awakens to find herself chained up in the underground space below Spike's crypt. Drusilla is tied to a pole across from her. Spike poetically describes his 120-year romance with Drusilla, prompting an appreciative sigh from her. He also confesses his love for Buffy and offers to kill Drusilla to convince Buffy of his love. Because this is Spike. And that makes sense to him.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, what does it take?
He threatens that if Buffy does not return his love, he'll untie Drusilla and let her kill Buffy. Spike asks Buffy for only a small sign that she could love him. Buffy rejects Spike again, and he goes into a rage about women being so difficult.
Understandably.
Harmony arrives and shoots Spike with a crossbow bolt. While Harmony and Spike fight, Drusilla breaks free and goes after Buffy, while the Slayer is still chained up. Spike grabs Drusilla and unchains Buffy, realizing that the Spike she once loved is gone forever. Drusilla leaves Sunnydale heartbroken. Harmony leaves Spike, telling him that it's completely over between the two of them. The minute she leaves, Buffy physically attacks Spike and storms off. Spike follows her and desperately attempts to get her to talk to him. But Buffy makes it very clear that he is no longer part of her life, and that he is to stay away from her and her family and friends from now on. Undaunted, Spike tries to follow her into her house, only to find that she has had his invitation revoked. As he recovers from the surprise, Buffy merely glares at him with disdain and closes the door on his face.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dawn can probably invite him in.
Well, anybody who lives there could.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But what did y'all think of this episode?
Women are complicated.
This was a fun time.
It's fun, isn't it?
Yes.
Like, it's just
stupid fun.
Yeah.
Hey, here's this popular character that everyone likes. Let's just torture him endlessly with all the women.
It's just like, it's Spike being like
his old self.
But it's not, because he can't actually follow through on any of his threats. So he's just like, he's trying to be evil, but he can't actually be evil.
Well, I sort of more thought of it if he was being his oldest self, as he was as a human.
Like, more or less, at least they went out to the bronze, I guess, and also kind of, Drusilla had to help him out with the killing of this random couple that were kissing.
She had to snap the person's neck.
Yeah.
Because Spike can't kill a live person.
Yeah.
So, for international titles, in French, The Declaration. In Brazilian Portuguese, this one pisses me off. It's Passions. Which, if you'll remember...
We had an episode called Passion.
Yeah, and it's one of the best episodes of the series. And in German, this... The Lovely Love.
Okay.
Hey, look at this love. It's lovely.
Yeah. Okay, so for music, we actually have quite a bit in this episode. So, of course, we have the original score. We have a band called Summer Camp who have 2 songs, Happy and Play It By Ear. Spike sings a song by the Ramones, I Want to Be Sedated. Devix have the song Key, and Joanne Brahms has Hungarian Dance No. 5.
Yes.
This is also the only episode where Buffy and Drusilla fight.
Yeah, that's supposedly true. In most other cases, it was group effort, where Drusilla was still in a weakened state.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's yeah. Unfortunately, we don't get another fight between them because Drusilla's a great character.
But she's so upset. Her little spiky wikey has gone off the path of the things and stuff.
Yes. So, what did you all think of this episode? I quite enjoyed it. I think it's a lot of fun.
Oh, yes.
It's definitely interesting, but oh man, Spike has it bad. All the things bad for the Buffy.
Yeah, tragic for Spike. Oh, no.
Well, he's still a jerk, but he's
Yeah.
just torturing himself with all this particular stuff. But I don't think any sort of thing at the moment is going to solve that in any sort of way.
Maybe he just needs to give her that box of chocolates.
That he used to beat up the damn dummy with. Because Spike's too poor to afford another box of chocolates, apparently. I love that. It's such a good touch. Oh, it's so good. Alrighty, so if neither of you have anything to add, we'll quickly talk about what we're doing next week. So next week will be the episode I Was Made to Love You.
Which is this a follow-up of this episode?
Well, so here's a brief synopsis. Or elevator pitch, kind of, for the episode. An odd girl who turns out to be a robot roams Sunnydale looking for her boyfriend, Warren, becoming violent when impeded, and especially when he tells her that he is in love with someone else. Spike asks Warren to create a robot for him.
Oh no.
When Buffy returns home, she finds someone on the couch.
Oh, more so
Oh
no.
boy.
So, on one hand,
Yeah?
really, really good thing about to happen. On the other hand, really, really bad thing about to happen.
I think the question is, how much is one thing going to cancel out the other thing?
I mean, we are gonna get a Buffy bot.
That's what I thought we were gonna get. Is this another fun time episode?
Well, kinda. But Buffy bot will be important later on.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Later on, like, aside from this episode?
Oh yeah,
Oh boy.
There's going to be some robot bullshit throughout the rest of the series.
Oh my god. Really?
Oh boy.
It's going to be 10 on 10. Yes, so the character Warren. Yeah, he's going to debut in this episode. He will be important going forward, though, especially in season 6.
Duly noted.
He is one of the trio. Anyway.
I don't know what the trio is.
You will, soon enough. Well, in like a couple of months. When we get to season 6, you will.
Right, okay.
Anyway, if neither of you have anything to add, that'll be it for this week.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
And I'm Justin.